is Tuesday. It is August 8th, and welcome to Commissioner in a Car. I'm Democratic Elections Commissioner Dustin Czarny, and it's going to be kind of a quick Commissioner in a Car. It's coming to you a little late here today because I had some obligations after work, and what I'm going to talk about today is the removal of our old voting equipment and what goes into that. As you know, this month is Machine Month here at Onondaga County Board of Elections because we are getting new clear ballot voting equipment for the fall election. But it's not as simple as just getting new equipment. We have to dispose of the old equipment. We have approximately 300 Dominion ImageCast scanners and ballot marking devices. About 20 of them are scanner onlys without the BMDs on the back of them. But the rest of them are these large behemoth units that we've had since 2008. And New York State requires, certain requirements to dispose of voting equipment. And we need to dispose of the equipment before the new equipment comes in because we just don't have space in the warehouse. And I know that there's a little bit of a risk. Everybody, worries about that, but we've been assured by Clear Ballot that the new equipment is on trucks, ready to come next week, and now that Clear Ballot has been certified, we can properly dispose of the old equipment. And I'll go into some detail. I can't go into too much detail because there's some proprietary things in there that I don't want to get too far into. But New York State Board of Elections has requirements for disposing of old voting machines. You can't just scrap them. You can't just sell them to the lowest bidder, put them on a boat to China, whatever. The voting equipment that we are getting rid of needs to go through several different steps. First, we have to account for all of it. Now, of course, we've been accounting for it right along. We have a pretty good tracking system with serial numbers for all of our voting equipment that we've had for the last 10 years, and almost every Board of Elections, I imagine, does, because, this is not something that, is lightly taken. We track the serial numbers, we track them when they go out, we scan them in when they come back. It's a big thing to handle voting equipment. You have to have a lot of chain of custody. And then you have to, so we have to know what we're disposing of. And we're actually going to keep one ImageCast machine for posterity's sake. But we're going to get rid of the rest. We've also contracted with a vendor. This is part of our RFP for new voting systems. Clear Ballot, our old, our new voting system company has, as part of their quote, and all of them had this as part of their quote. They had a vendor that is done this before and knows the processes that New York State needs to dispose of voting equipment. And we have them coming in over the next 2 days. They're going to be about 4 or 5 trucks worth of voting equipment, and they're going to load them all up. And when they load them all up, we're going to track the serial numbers as they go out. And then after they demolish the equipment, and that's important, these are not going to be sold on the black market. They're not going to be sold on resale markets. These are machines have to be demolished. I believe pulverized is part of the description of this. They cannot just be sold for scrap. They have to be demolished before that happens. Also, before they even leave the building, we remove sensitive computer hardware from every machine. So in case there was ever anything that ever happened, all of our sensitive hardware would be already out of the machine. No voting data would be in them. And then that hardware that we've kept, we will account for all of that. We will wipe that data, and then once they're wiped, we will then pulverize and destroy those as well. So this is a multi-step process. It's going to take a couple days for all the machines to leave. It's going to take, a lot of time for all that paperwork to be done. And then, of course, we have to keep those records, and we'll probably give a copy up to the State Board of Elections as well. So that's what goes into removing voting equipment. And it's it's a 10-year process. We haven't done this in quite some time. I've never done it as a commissioner. We've had the same machines my entire time here, but other counties have gotten rid of machines in the last 15 years. So mainly counties that moved from the ImageCast machine, which we are, up to the ICE machine, which is the Dominion mid-size machine that became available about 5 years ago. So those machines, a lot of counties moved up to those a few years ago. So the regulations for getting rid of the machines, especially computerized machines, was important. Of course, you would always get rid of a defective computerized machine as well. So these are things that even though this is the first time Onondaga County Board of Elections has ever gotten rid of computerized voting machines, there's a lot of precedent, and we've gotten a lot of guidance from the state about how to do that here for us. So that's that's good, because we need that guidance, and these double checks are going to help us provide a chain of custody to make sure that the equipment that is used in our county is properly destroyed and properly gotten rid of. And so in that way, nobody can steal any voting data. More importantly, nobody can reverse engineer a machine and try to find a way to hack it. Although, again, none of these machines are really hackable because they are not connected to the internet, and neither are the new machines that are coming in. So we're doing this all while we're preparing for our big press conference on Thursday. On Thursday, we will be having a 10 a.m. press conference. I'm hoping to videotape that and share that with you. It's not going to be live, but I'll share that with you post video. Well, we'll see. Maybe it'll be live. I'm not sure yet. We haven't decided that yet. But it really depends on how where we are over the next day. We're still preparing for the press conference. We've had our vendors come in. We're very confident. We have a fake election, I should say, a test election that we're going to allow the press and anybody who comes to the press conference at 10 a.m. To test out our new system from nuts to bolts, from pull pad to pull print to the new clear ballot machines. And we're really excited about that. So that's going to be happening on Thursday at 10. I have altered my schedule a little bit because of that press conference. I usually Thursday morning I do a Zoom with Zarni, and I've already altered this week's Zoom with Zarni because of the Trump indictments. And I've got special guest Steve Doherty, former county court judge. Boy, we had a great conversation. We taped it last night. I can't wait to share that with you, but I am going to wait till Friday. Friday is when I'm going to share it with you. Ironically, there's some procedural hearings on Friday that will that we talk about in this podcast about what might happen during that. So by the time you watch it, it may be old news, may not. We'll see. And kind of a note about that. One of the reasons I am kind of diving into this Trump indictment as opposed to previous Trump indictments, although especially the Mar-a-Lago indictment, this is an indictment about elections. It's not about stolen documents or behavior. It's not about a hush money to a porn star, although that was technically about the 2016 election because it was a campaign finance violation. This is about the attempt to overthrow an election and whether that is legal or not. And of course, I believe it is now legal. I believe it is traitorous action, to be quite honest, and I do not use that term lightly. If you cannot respect the rule of law, if you cannot respect our electoral system, and if you have grievances, you take them to the polls. You don't take them to the streets. You don't incite an insurrection. You don't try to disrupt official proceedings, you go to the polls and outvote your opponent. And Mr. Trump's actions in the post-2020 election have been criminal, in my opinion, and I'm glad to see that we're finally going to start to get an answer on that as well. So I have decided to take one episode of our My Zoom and Zarnies. It's usually about candidates in the fall. I do one episode on the Trump situation, although I may do some more Commissioner in the Cars about it if the need arise. But I'll be pretty busy with this machine takeover or machine switchover. So that's, on Friday I'll have that, and then on this weekend my weekly wonk will be about the town of Onondaga, and we'll go forward from there. Again, I don't have much to share. David is in the feed with a question. He hasn't been in the feed with a question recently, but here it is. In a recent interview, Governor DeSantis seemed to say that the President Trump lost the 2000 election. Does this mark a turn in what Republicans think about the 2000 elections and conspiracy theories? No, I don't think so, unfortunately. I wish it would. I wish the fever would break. But I watched what Governor DeSantis said, and he didn't really forcefully say that. He had to be goaded into it by the reporter. They had to coax that out of him. It coaxed an answer out of him because he wasn't going to answer at all at first. He had some mealy mouth answer, and but the proof will be in the pudding. Are people going to, are his poll numbers, are his Trump's poll numbers going to start to shift? Is his fundraising numbers going to start to shift downward? And will more people actually condemn his actions as opposed to pretending it's a two-tiered justice system, which it's not? I guess maybe it is. There's a tiered justice system for those who are guilty and those who are not. The innocent are let go and the guilty are punished, and that's what our two-tiered justice system is. There's only one president that has incited a riot and incited an insurrection and tried to overthrow the election after they lost. We are in a very unusual place. So I'm going to get going now. Next week I'll be in Niagara Falls. I'm a world traveler lately. About 1 week a month I'm out doing Board of Elections business outside of Onondaga County. In Niagara Falls, it is our summer conference for the New York State Elections Commission Association, and our summer and winter conferences are not just conferences. They aren't. They are not glitzy, junkets. These are our training sessions with the State Board of Elections, and it's 3 straight days of pretty intense trainings between the Board of Elections and commissioners. I'll be teaching at least one class, and maybe even another, but I'll also be leading my caucus, standing for re-election as caucus chair. So it's a very busy conference. So while I'm out, and while Commissioner Sardo is out, the new machines will start rolling in. And so we're going to be watching that. As I said, Friday, my Zoom and Zarni will be Judge Steve Doherty. My weekly wonk this weekend will be Town of Onondaga. I did Town of Geddes last weekend, and you can find all of this at DustinZarni.com. Like and subscribe. You'll get subscribed for free, and I'll never have ads. I'll never make anybody pay. It's part of my public education outreach as Commissioner of Elections. So check that out. And that's all I got to say. So enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you later this week. I might do some Instagram reels as the equipment is being rolled out tomorrow. So we'll see how that happens. All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.